Okay, today I'm going to talk to you about immune response. So what an immune response is how our body responds when a pathogen enters the body. How does our body react to try and get rid of this pathogen? So first of all, let's imagine this. We have a pathogen entering the body. Now what a pathogen is this is a microorganism, so a tiny living thing that can cause you harm, such as a virus or a bacterium. Now, on the surface of the pathogen, we have a kind of particular protein on the surface. And this protein is called an antigen. Now, we've got a nice way of remembering this because the antigen goes on the surface of the pathogen. Now, this enters the body and it starts to reproduce. Now, we want to get rid of this. Our body wants to get rid of this pathogen because it can make us ill. So in our bodies, we have a type of white blood cell that is called, it's got a fancy name, it's called a B lymphocyte. A B lymphocyte. So what this B lymphocyte does is it recognizes this antigen and it recognizes that this is not a part of our body. This is something foreign. So what it does is it produces these things called antibodies. Now these have a complementary shape to the antigen on the surface of the pathogen. Now, a lot of people get antibodies and antigens confused. The way I remember it is that antigen goes on the pathogen and antibodies are produced by cells in our body. So that's the way I help to remember it. So what happens is after these antibodies are made, they could be released and they can attack the pathogen by attaching to the antigen on the surface. So that's a basic immune response. Now these antibodies are specific to the shape of this antigen. For example, let's say we had a different pathogen entering. Each pathogen will have a different antigen, so a different structure on the surface. Now these antibodies from this B lymphocyte here would not be able to fit onto the antigen of this one because it's not the right shape. So we'd need a different B lymphocyte to make different antibodies for a different pathogen. Now the last thing we need to know about this are these things called memory cells. Because after we've had this pathogen, let's wait for the bell. After we've had this pathogen enter the body, some of these white blood cells remain in the blood. Some of these B lymphocytes remain in the blood, and they're now referred to as memory cells. Because what they do is they already have this particular antibody, which is specific for this particular pathogen. So if this particular pathogen was to come back, our memory cells in the blood can rapidly release these antibodies, which can break down these pathogens really, really quickly. So that secondary immune response is much bigger and is much faster than the primary one. There's another video about vaccinations that goes into this in more detail. So just to recap, pathogens are the scientific term for a microorganism which can cause you harm. On the surface of the pathogen, there is an antigen. This is just a protein structure. This is the thing that our white blood cells, called B lymphocytes, recognize. They produce antibodies which are complementary to the shape of the antigen. The antibodies kind of bind to the antigen and breaks them down. And once that pathogen's been destroyed, we have memory cells which stay in the blood, which already have this antibody produced and can release it rapidly if the pathogen was to come back. Thank you.